Howdy folks, it's Ultra here and welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, ready for leg 4 today of the Grand Alpine Challenge Bush Trip. I apologize about the previous video when the middle, the voice audio was peeking out. I don't know, I guess I got really excited and talked really loudly or something. More loudly than normal. That's what happens when I record during the day versus late at night. Late at night, like right now, I talk a little softer. But when I record during the day, I yell apparently. So leg 4, it's the longest one of the trip. It's going to be way over an hour for us, considering the 49-minute was an hour and a half for us. I expect this to hit hour 45 before editing. And looking at this photo here, looks like this is probably where we're going to land, on a grass strip that's really short in the middle of a field with not much indication except a tree at the end and some white buildings and a couple dots to mark out the runway. That's what I'm thinking this is, right? Because if you click on the different legs, you know, that's where you land, right? That's where we landed in the last video, for example. Oh, well, at least there aren't any mountains around, but it could be hard to find. Alrighty, so you know the drill. Without further ado, let's get going. Alright, so the first thing we do to come down here, we get some lights on, because it's 6:55 in every leg, which is hilarious. I think it's hilarious. Also, whenever I start this, I go up. It gets really bright. I can actually come back a few. Sometimes. There we go. Let's come up here. Repair and refuel. There we go. And where are they starting us in the runway? Are we at the end? We're halfway down. I think we're going to taxi back before we take off. If I remember. Alright, let's see. No GPS on this one either, which is fine. It just makes us work harder, which actually is better, right, for us. I say that every video. In the previous video, I took about 20 minutes going through every single leg and planning where we're going to go, and then I forgot and had to look it all up anyway. So I think I'm just going to look it up as we go. In real life, you would plan this out to a T, right? And you would study the map of where you're going, and you'd get it down before you even took off. But for the sake of the video and the sake of the sim, we're just going to look it up as we go. I am noticing, though, that we have, except for this one in the middle, we have a lot of really short legs, so might have to read ahead so you don't get off course too quickly. Also, studying the overview map that you get when the bush trip loads, it looks like the hardest part is over. We started over here and we had to go through this stuff, and now I think it showed us going over here, and then we just sit in these fields for the whole last final whatever legs it is. So I think the hardest part is over. I hope it's over. I enjoyed it, but if you do too much of that stuff, it was pretty exhausting, and doing too much of it is just exhausting after a while. So hopefully the hard stuff is over. Let's see here. So what is this? Leg 4, I think. Let's see. Let's study where we're going. I feel like I'm missing something. No, I don't think so. We're going to hand fly probably because of the terrain. If we get to the fields, I might use autopilot with heading bug, but we cannot use autopilot with nav because we don't have GPS. So that's how we're going to do that. And we have this map here, so we don't even have to look at that one. All right, here we go. Let's start talking. We're going to head. Oh, we're going to a different country. We're going to end up in Echo Delta Yankee Whiskey in about an hour. Well, for me, hour and 45 minutes from now, probably. All righty, here we go. Zap or Thorn, launch, set a course east-southeast, and gain altitude to fly over the 10,000-foot high summit of Zapperthorn, a significant peak in the Swiss Lepentine Alps. Now, we're not going to fly over the peak. We're just going to... Oops, come on, mousey. Stay focused here. We're not going to fly over a peak. We're just going to fly around it, probably. So heading 95, here we go. Let's get rolling. Heading 95 would be faster to turn this way. 95, which means we basically go straight a little bit to the left, barely. So what? Where's the peak going to be? 8 minutes from now, flying pretty much straight. Let's see. This right here, maybe? Do you think it's going to be that right there? Yep, that's exactly where it is. It's within this curved area here. probably to warn you not to go there. It's so high. Alrighty, so that's where we're headed. Let's see where we're headed after, though, because then we can plan a trip, you know, to the side or whatever. So what is after that? Then we're going to go 64 degrees, so we can head this way. Then we're going to veer left 64 degrees for another 6 minutes, and that's Suffnesy, probably. Suffensy, I don't know. Let's see. Okay, that's a lake. So let's see. There's a lake after Zapperthorn. So, okay, then we're headed to this, which is a reservoir. Okay, so we're going to go towards that circle, means be careful, and then towards the reservoir. So what we're going to do is we're going to fly that now, and then when we're near the reservoir, we're getting to it, then we'll set our course 54 degrees and read about where we're going after that, right? Okay, Deep Village. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to do that, head towards the reservoir, set our course, and read about it. Pretty simple. Pretty simple. Pretty simple. Yeah, right. All right, so let's hide that. 10,000 feet, which means we need to be 1,000 above terrain, so we need to be 11,000. We're not using autopilot, but we are going to put this here as a reference. And it'll turn yellow when we get there. Oh, come on. Seriously. But we're going to navigate around that peak. So depending on the terrain, once we get in the area, we'll either veer left or veer right. I'm hoping veer left because that's there. However, looking at this is dark, even darker brown, so we might actually end up veering right. Whatever. We know where we need to go. We'll just get there as safely as possible. And just like before, previous leg, because of this altitude, you need to know how to use your mixture in order to fly this. Auto mixture, maybe, I guess. That's a barometer. There we go. Maybe you can do auto mixture. I don't know if you can. Well, let's check it out together. So you hit escape, you go to your assistances, and then you go to your flight piloting, or is it systems? Oh, nope. Okay, never mind. It's grayed out. Okay. So you have to know how to do auto mixture. And you also have to know how to set your gyro drift. In this airplane, it doesn't really matter, but in the steam gauges and analog gauges, you have to know that too. Okay, so you do have to know how to use auto mixture in order to fly these flights. Okay, did I just put parking brake back on or off? I think it's off. Okay, we're gonna go back here without tipping over, and we're going to give ourselves a little bit more space. Flaps, one flap down. Okay, here we go. Might as well look outside with this camera since we can for a moment. So that's something else, huh? Just amazing. Alright, let's not get too crazy here. We don't want to roll or tip or anything. Alright, let's see. We're almost there. Runway 11 implies 110 degrees, give or take, right? Because there's your directional heading, your magnetic heading, and all that stuff. So let's turn around. Let's not get too far off the threshold, because I don't want it to register as a crash. I'm not sure how that, necessarily works. Alrighty, here we go. No. Oh my gosh, don't cause a ground loop, you goofball. Now we're in big trouble. Now we have to get rolling again. Here we go. Don't screw up. Okay, here we go. Come on. My rudders are working right. I forgot to check before I started, because often I have to disconnect, reconnect my rudders, which I used to do after I started the sim if I had a problem, but now I have to do it before you start the sim, because there's an issue with some hardware where if you connect it while the sim is already running, it gives you like 1 frame per second. It's really weird. Oh, we can get up. Oh, we did not need that space. Alrighty, step on the brakes, stop the wheels. Here we go. Everything is forward. We're gonna climb like crazy. And I better get down here and set my map, because I lost us for some reason. And we're headed towards that, right? Right there, which is like that. Okay, there we go. All right, so we're gonna climb. So I want to climb again. I keep forgetting to look at the optimum climb speed, which you can put in the comments if you want, but I'm sure I've Googled it by the time you watch this. And but what I'm going to do then is just stay just faster than flap speed, which gives us 1,200 feet per minute at this altitude. And then once you get up above 5,000 or 6,000, I'll bring back the mixture slowly. So we're going to follow this valley here, and then we're going to veer left and head towards that circle thing, and then that'll be our peak. And for those of you who haven't seen a bush trip video, which I don't know why you'd start with this one in the middle of the trip, maybe you're looking for the navigation part of this leg, I don't know, but because this is a very difficult bush trip. Anyway, if we have an easy trip with GPS and I can use heading bug, I do a lot of sightseeing and less talking. A trip like this where I have to hand fly, there's a lot more talking because I'm talking through what I'm doing, which means it's going to be a very long video. If we do have the GPS option, we just use GPS and let the airplane do it. And if we don't, then we hand fly like this. So that's how that works. We do read about each POI as we get there. I also will edit out some of the distance in between longer POIs. However, you never miss anything because I'm always, with the visual part, you can always see where we're coming from and where we're going to. So you never miss anything. Alright, I do want to look outside for a brief moment. Holy cow, look at that. That's amazing. I think that peak is just to our left, to be honest. Oh gosh, look at this. I want a good screenshot. Let's get a good turning plane screenshot. There we go. Alright, it's all about the content, right? Alright, let's put that away. Look at those villages down there. Alright, so what are we at? Yeah, see, we're heading towards that peak already. So if we can clear this, we will. Otherwise, we'll keep curving around. I also want to keep an eye on that reservoir, which is right there. Alrighty. So these are VFR trips, but you have to know where you're going ahead of time. Alright, so we're just going to ride this valley and then get over towards that peak as soon as we can. See, there's a valley to the left of the peak, but we have to be able to get across this terrain, which is actually behind this immediate terrain. So we're not going to be able to turn quite yet. I'm hoping by the time we get there, we'll be high enough. We're already at 6 and 6, 7. And we're climbing at a good pace. Let's look outside more now. Oh my gosh, look at that. Oh wow. Screenshot opportunities. Just look at this. Yes, this is challenging, but it's worth it. Because you have to admit, some of those Nordic bush trips were really boring. You just set autopilot and look at planes, which planes can look good too, but plane, not airplane, but planes in terms of geology. But it was hours and hours of that. So this is very cool, although it's very difficult. Alright, I better get inside and monitor what we're doing. See if we can climb more steeply than this. I just want to, there we go, that's better. Crank up my personal volume to hear the engines. Hopefully it doesn't bleed in too much. Look at that. Oh man, I'm gushing. I know it's not a sightseeing simulator, but yes it is. It is, it's partially sightseeing. Okay, so, we're trying to decide. We might end up coming around this way because that's darker brown. Yeah, we might end up going to the south, which will be fine. It'll be fine. We're gonna make it, I think. Whoops. Yeah, oh yeah. Yep, we are way over that terrain. Good. So then we're gonna veer left, and I'm thinking the summit is, you can't, well, behind the pole now, I'm thinking, because that's the tallest part of the whole deal, right? Alright, I love it. We're going to cross over this ridge, and it's going to be incredible. Look at that sunrise reflecting off the hillsides. What are we at, 8,000? Yeah, we'll make it, because that peak is 10,000, and we're aiming for 11. Yep, we'll do it. We'll make it. We'll be just fine, but then we're going to stay pretty high, just because I don't know if there's another peak or anything after the reservoir, and then once we're in the clear, then we'll come down a little bit. But this is fantastic. Alright, should we start bringing back the mixture a little bit? Just ever so slowly until it drops. Oh yeah. Did it drop? I can't tell. Ooh, see that bounce from the train turbulence? Don't want to miss this ridge. This is the point of this part, right? There's even roads down there. Oh my goodness. Alright, where are we at? We're at 9.1. Okay, there we go. See that? Okay, I don't know if you can see what I'm doing because I'm not pointing, but see that fuel gallons per hour? I was moving it until that dropped and then brought it back in a little bit. Okay. I'm not going to give a mixture lesson in this, even though you do need to know how to do it. I'm going to say very quickly the most basic is when the higher you get, start pulling back your mixture very slowly. And then when the numbers drop, push it back in just a tad. That's all. That's all I'm going to get into. There's plenty of YouTube videos if you want to watch more. Alrighty, so we're almost at 11,000 feet. And that peak is only supposed to be 10,000 something. So I don't quite understand why it looks like we're lower than it. Maybe it's just the way it looks. I don't know. Anyway, we're going along here nice and slowly. Yep. Looks like we're not even moving on the map because we're going so slowly to climb. Alright, let's go outside. And I'm assuming our peak is back. That's the highest point. I could be wrong, of course, but anyway, let's just look around. We are high in the sky. Look at this. Oh my goodness. I wish I could use the drone right now, but then I can't control my airplane. And even though I barely need to touch it at the moment, with the train turbulence, it gets pretty hairy. So anyway, yeah, we are well above the train actually. We're probably, yeah, we're a good 1,000 feet above it. It doesn't look like it, but we are. It's just so massive. It looks like we're closer. Because if you remember the previous leg, I thought we were going to hit our wheels and we were 500 above. So, you know, there's a ridge. So we're going to keep climbing here a little bit until we get past this peak and then we'll level off. See, we're getting a lot of train turbulence. See that? Even though we're like 1,200 above train. Oh my goodness. Alrighty, this is slow going. I'm going to shut my mouth for a minute until we get to the peak. And then I'll start talking again. Alright, that is clearly our peak, and then the valley with the reservoir is right in front of us, which we can't see from here, but we're going to start trimming down now so we can start leveling off. I don't want to descend, I just want to level off. And then we'll start coming down slowly, because there's the peak. It's very obvious from this angle, isn't it? Well, that is awesome. I'm glad we were able to get that close. Although we're probably a good mile, 2 miles away from it, but I'm very glad we get that close. Okay. It's going to disappear now. We got to keep flying an airplane. Oh boy, we're still climbing like crazy. Let's go down, or level off at least. Alrighty, we're going to head towards the reservoir now. Do I dare zoom in? Whoops, that's out. Do I dare zoom in? We don't really need to zoom in. Let's just keep it like that. When we get towards the reservoir, we will read about the next thing we're doing. So, let's see. Oh my gosh, look at this. Yeah, more sightseeing for you. I don't need to say anything until we get there. It's going to be a couple minutes yet. I'm going to rest my voice and I'll see you in a little bit. So the reservoir's below us, you can't really see it. Let's hop outside. There it is. And I want to keep coming down, but I don't know if we have to go over any of this terrain or not yet. So I'm not going to come down too much more than I have. Because I don't know if we get to ride out the valleys. If I knew ahead of time if we got to ride out the valleys, we'd come down. But I don't know, so we're going to level off a little bit here. Alrighty, so we want to set our heading, let's see, to 54 to get ready beyond this reservoir here. Are we really close to the train or something? Yeah, we are kind of over it, aren't we? Yeah, kind of. Anyway, there's your reservoir, by the way. If you want to have a good look at it. And then looking back, like that. There we go. So, 54 degrees. 54, where were we? There's 80s, 70, 60, 54. So veering to the left a little bit. So that will put us kind of over this ridge, sort of. But it will definitely put us into it. So I don't want to go any lower than this if I can help it. Because we have to go over that ridge right there. Because that ridge is this one, right? Just after the Bayern reservoir. Why do I keep saying viaduct? I think so anyway. Or maybe it's that ridge here. I don't know. We're just going to keep our altitude just in case. So stop descending, please. Good grief. Alrighty, we're definitely over the reservoir now. So let's read about the next place. Tiffin Castle. Continue for just over 10 nautical miles to Tiffin Castle, a beautiful village deep in the Alps. Oh, look, viaduct. Maybe that's where I was getting it from. And then after that, we'll turn 73 degrees, which is to the right. Okay, so let me tell you what's going on here. Tiffin Castle, the village, I already looked it up, sorry, is right here, right where that little bit of water is. And then turning 73 degrees then would put us over here. So we have to cross this terrain, or we could stay in this valley if we wanted to. And then we're going to head in this direction, but we don't know where yet. And look at that, no matter where it puts us, that's some pretty high terrain. So we're going to stop descending. We're going to stay about 12,000 feet. There we go. And then we're going to head towards Tiffin Castle. So there we are, our heading 56, 54, pretty close. So that's what we're going to do. And then when we get to Tiffin Castle, we'll go 73 degrees, which will put us right down this valley, probably. Oh, and then 2 degrees, which is almost north. So actually, we're not going to go here. We're going to go here, 73 degrees, 2 degrees for quite a while. And then 303, which is back this way. Oh. Okay, well maybe once we cross this major terrain, we will come down a little bit, because then it gets all fieldy. We'll see. We'll see how we do it. Alrighty, yeah, so I'm going to be quiet now, and I'll see you at Tiffin Castle. See you in a little bit. Alright, so our city is about to be below us. Let's go outside, since that's the only way to see it. There it is, down here. There's our village. Do you think I can do the drone super fast? Let's see here. Remember, I don't have control over my airplane because I use my controls to move the drone. Excuse me. Or maybe that's the village there. Actually, that might be the village. Maybe that's the village. I don't know. But I need to put the drone away because I need to control my airplane. So next, I'm going to go to 73 degrees to the viaduct, which is only 2 minutes away. So we're going to have to look for that. So the viaduct is right there, right, to connect those two little mountain things sticking out. But here's the problem. We are 12,600 feet up. So we might not be able to see it from here. I mean, I could nosedive, I guess. But then we're heading north somewhere. I think we're heading north to here after this. So I guess I could come down. Let me just ride this out, maybe. I don't know. Oops, we went past 73. We're at 80 now. So what we might do, which we haven't done on this bush strip at all, is actually when we get that area, take out the drone and see if we can see it. Or, you know, pause the aircraft, take out the drone. I don't know. I'm just not ready to descend yet until we get out of this mountain stuff. Because it could be like, you know, we could be down here, right? Like it's like, go over this or something, and we don't know that yet, and we don't want to have to climb again. So we're just going to stay like this for a little bit, and then we're going to try to spot this viaduct from the air if we can. Alright, so we're pretty much where the map says the viaduct is, and I took out the drone and went down there, and I can't find anything. So I'm not going to waste your time looking. So I apologize that we're not going to see this viaduct for ourselves. But it's supposed to be down there somewhere. So we're going to keep on moving along. So let's see here. Let's see what is next. Szesplana, fly north for 22 nautical miles. And to the beautiful pyramidal form of Szesplana, the highest mountain in the Reichtekon mountain range, part of the Central Eastern Alps. Szesplana lies directly on the border of Switzerland and Austria. Okay, that's 2 degrees for 10.5 minutes. Alright, well, we got some terrain turbulence going on here. So 2 degrees. Let's set this to, oh my gosh, we're not going to hit anything, are we? Why are you terrain turbulence? Well, I guess it does model it, doesn't it? Which is good. But, man, I really want to find that viaduct. Sorry, I couldn't find it. Oh, well. Holy moly. This turbulence is crazy. 2 degrees, we're almost there. 2 degrees, 4, 3, 2. Alright, so we're heading towards this brown thing. See that lake? We're heading towards that brown part. That's where we want to go. So let's turn 2 degrees. And since we are 12,300 feet up, we're just going to cut across instead of going down in the valley and going around. So that is a topic that I've brought up in other bush trips, is when you're really, really high like this, you miss stuff, right? Like we missed the viaduct and the city we saw from 12,000 feet up, that type of thing. So on the one hand, being VFR trips like this, you would think, okay, you know, stay low to the ground, ride through the valleys, you know, they can see everything, blah, blah, blah. But then you run into problems like, you know, crossing the terrain, especially in the mountains, right? You can't ride the valleys and look at viaducts and things and then get it back up 12,000 feet to clear the terrain without circling for 45 minutes to climb, right? Corkscrewing up. I guess you could. If you wanted to, you could do that. But then coming down, you have to corkscrew down, right? Because if you overspeed coming down too steeply, you'll stress the aircraft, and if you slip, you'll stress the aircraft. So I don't know. It's a toss-up, because the way we do it is we get up nice and high to cross the terrain, and then we stay there until we're done crossing terrain. But then we miss things like this viaduct. We've missed a few castles because of that. But I guess if you wanted to, you could go up and down and up and down and up and down. But that's just a lot of work, and it's tricky and dangerous. Because remember, if you screw up, you got to start the leg over. And if it saves it, it'll dump you in the middle of it, and you got to get your airplane back somehow to the other airport and start over. So it's very tricky. So that's why we do it the way we do it. There's no wrong way to do it. Just use the tools available and do it the way you want to. But I'm sure there are other people doing some of these bush trips where they, you know, go down on the ground, they go up high, whatever. More power to them. But this is just how we do it. There's no wrong way. There's no right way. As long as you don't crash. If you crash, then you did something wrong. Which we've done plenty of times. Oh yes, we have. So anyway, there's a little conversation about that in the middle of this very long video, which I assume is going to be a very long video. Otherwise, let's see, we're gonna head towards that place now, which I assume is probably that. I guess we can look outside and see if there's a valley in between. Yeah, there's a valley in between. Yeah, so it must be that peak in front of us. Otherwise, we could have taken that valley below us, see below the tail wheel, and then go around. Whoops. See that crossroads down there and then come around. That's what I was going to do. We were going to fly this valley and then come around like this. If we would have found the viaduct, we would have done that probably, because we can't climb this quickly but get up here. However, since we're already up here, we are going to stay and just fly towards this peak. So let's look outside the windows together just for a moment, and then we'll read about where we're going next, just so we're prepared. And then we will... Oh, are we still climbing? We don't really need to climb right now. Let's see, let me just point my nose towards that water. There we go. And then we'll see what's going on. Alright, so what is next? And then we're going to go to 303 degrees, which is more towards the west-ish, north-northwest. And then we're going to point towards Vaduz, the capital of Liechtenstein. A tiny alpine country that is one of the few nations of the world without an airport. Oh, really? I knew where Liechtenstein is. I do have pretty good world geography in my mind, but I didn't know they didn't have an airport. Alrighty, so I'm going to fly you towards that little lake on the map, or the mountains in front of the nose if you're looking out the window. And when we get there, we will go towards Vaduz. See you in a little bit. Alright, we're about to cross over our peak, and we're literally over the peak. So let's actually go to the right a little bit. See, it's showing up just in front of the nose. During the sightseeing, I drifted a little bit. So let's go to the side of it so we can actually look at it. Ooh, we might be able to see that lake too. You know I'm a sucker for lakes surrounded by mountains. I've kind of seen that in real life in the Rockies in Colorado, but still not the way I would like to experience a lake in the mountains. And I don't mean like Lake Tahoe, I mean something smaller, like that in front of us, right? So we're gonna go around that, and then we're gonna head towards the city, and I'll tell you where the city is on the map in a moment. Once we get a chance to look at this peak. There it is, right below us, and there's that lake too. Oh, there we go, we get to see it all. I guess we can look outside while we're at it. We're going to cross over a really sharp ridge, looks like. Look out the windows for that. Otherwise, this is the highest we're going to be, and then we're going to start coming down now. Wow, look at that. Let's just enjoy that for a second. Holy moly. Look at this. Oh my goodness, the sun is rising. There's our mountain peak right there. If we go like that, there we go. Taking so many screenshots. Alright, let's hop inside and let's look out the window for this ridge, because that's the best way to experience it for immersion, is within the aircraft. And the train turbulence is kicking us up. I don't want to go up anymore. Oh, look at that lake. I should Google that lake and see if there's pictures of it in real life. Look at that. Alright, let's stop climbing. There we go. Let's start coming down. So where are we headed now? We need to go what? 303 degrees, so let's go 303 degrees. Come on, mouse. 303, so kind of a sharp turn to the left. Let's go, come on. 300. Oh, that train turbulence is making me nauseous. Okay. There we go. So basically, sorry, I'm just getting nauseous. We're heading there towards that open area. That's where we're headed. We're going to head this way for a whole 4 minutes. That's Vaduz, which is, what did it say? Sorry, I didn't read. Did I read it to you? Yeah. Liechtenstein without the airport. And Vaduz, well, keep turning, please. Vaduz is, if you look here, Vaduz is right about there. This is the outline of Liechtenstein, and Vaduz is right on the border. So it's right about there. That's where we're headed. If I can get us, there's all this turbulence knocking us around here. Come on. You can do it. Let's just fly like this. Then once we get near Vaduz, we'll start coming down. There we go. Come on. You can do it. Slowly and steady. And I guess that means we can look out. There we go. We can look out the window and check out that lake even more. So that's amazing. Alright, we're actually going to stay about this heading here. We turned a little late. Or a little early. A little early, a little late. Doesn't matter. Let's just look like doesn't matter. Alright, here we go. Look at this. This is gorgeous. Whoops. Oh, I love that so much. And there's our big peak we were supposed to look for. Right there in the middle. Looking out this side. Oh, look at that town. Ooh. That's really cool looking. And what I like about these mountain peaks is, ooh, look at all those lakes, is you get to see the peaks, right? So, whoops, we're veering away here. I've been to the Rockies in real life, as I mentioned before, and a lot of the Rockies, because you're already so high, when you see the mountain peaks that are, I don't know the altitude, are they 10, 12, 13,000, 12,000 feet, the Colorado Rockies, whatever, because you're like 10,000 feet yourself the whole time, or even 11,000 feet, it doesn't look like huge mountains, right? It's just, it looks like little peaks, because you're already 10, 11,000 feet up. So then if you look up 800, 900 feet, you know, it's like, oh, whatever, you know, when it's in mass like that. But these, though, these mountains, because the valleys are so deep and the peaks are so high, it looks like a bunch of mountain peaks, right? I think that makes sense. I hope that makes sense the way I articulated that. That's what I'm enjoying about this, is all these peaks. Whoops, wrong number. There we go. Giving that city some attention. Alrighty, let's see. At this heading, we're gonna go a little north of Vaduz, I think. But I think we'll be okay. No, we're heading right for it. If you look at, let's see, if we take that sharp thing here, and you go across to that curve, Vaduz is right there, yeah. Oh yeah, we'll be able to see it. So, I guess that's kind of a cool thing to be off to the side, because then you can see it, right? Other times when we're exactly perfectly lined up with stuff, you go right over and you don't get to see it. So, we'll be able to see it. We have quite a ways to go, though. I'm kind of, well, yeah, I'm just always wondering why it takes me so much longer, right? It says, what, 4.5 minutes? It's taking, that was already been 4.5 minutes, we're only halfway there, whatever. I am so rambly and chatty because I have to hand fly, just killing time, that I'm going to get you some sightseeing, and I'm going to be quiet. I'll see you in a little bit. So Vaduz is in the valley, so that must be it right there. Voice crack? That has to be it. Let's look outside and let's look around here. That has to be it. I think it's, yeah, okay. I think because we're so high up, we're not able to make out the urban detail. I think if you start steering long enough, depending on the device you have, you can see how it's sprawling this entire area. See, basically this entire valley is a city. If you stare long enough, you can see it. So I'm pretty sure that's it down there. I mean, it has to be, right? Alrighty, so things are coming down now because no more mountains. So now where are we headed? Well, we're headed down, so let's bring our throttles back a little bit so we don't overspeed. You want to use throttles to control your ascent and descent, which if you're doing this bush trip, you already know that, I would imagine. But anyway, people pick up little things here and there from every video. So, alright, next, heading to 330, which we already are basically. Well, let's move the heading bug anyway so we can keep an eye on it. Actually, let's just push it. There you go. And, oh, gyro drift? No. 35, 4, 3, 2, 1, 30. There we go. 330. For 8 minutes, 43 seconds. I'm not using the timer, if you've noticed, because it takes us so much longer that I don't even bother with the timer. Quinto Park. Quinto Park is a multi-use Swiss stadium. Okay, so now we're looking for a landmark type thing. Okay, let's see a little bit to the left here. So we definitely want to come down in altitude so we can see the stadium. So let's just come down a lot. Props are forward. Mixture's still back a little bit. Actually, it's back quite a bit. Well, let's move props back a little bit. And we're going to use throttle to control our descent like usual. That's a pretty steep descent though. Let's do a little bit more throttle. There we go. Alright, watch your speed too. And we're going to look for Quinto Park. Where's Quinto Park on the map? Well, you know, it's hard to control everything at the same time. Quinto Park. So there's the bottom of the lake there, and then there's some riverage. It looks like it's on the river, like right here. So that's where we're going to aim, and then we're going to look for it. Whoops, we're veering to the right. Doesn't mean we're going to find it, but we're going to try our best. We're going to try our best to find it, and we'll see. And then since the next POI is so close, we're going to read about that right now. Abbey of St. Gall, a beautiful Catholic religious complex that is centuries old and located in St. Gall, Switzerland. Okay, so then we'll look for that. So we're looking for the stadium, then we're looking for a religious complex 72 degrees after. Okay, actually I should probably keep that out, but then it screws up all the other things. It's not weird. Oh no, so you screwed up that too. Ugh. Whatever. Abbey of St. Gall. That's what we're going to look for after the complex. Okay. After the stadium. Wish me luck. We'll try to find these things. Okay, so the way I'm trying to find these things is if you look at this little thing there, there's a place called Horn, right on that little horn. And there's a main highway, a very major freeway, highway, whatever, motorway that comes out of here. And the stadium should be here, and the Abbey should be there along that highway. So we really need to look out for a major motorway. We're going to try our best. We'll try our best to find it, and then let's prepare for what is right after that. Then we're going to head 58 degrees to Lake Constance, which I assume is that enormous lake. Oh gosh, we've been here before in a different bush trip, weren't we? Yes, we have. I know it's not called Lake Constance though, or is it? Yeah, it is. It just has different names. Oversea. Remember the Oversea thing from the other bush trip? We're going right over that again. So what we'll do when we find these abbeys and things is we will use the heading they give us to get over Lake Constance, because obviously Lake Constance is enormous, and we can end up anywhere over it and then be screwed up for the next place. So we'll use the heading of 58 once we get to the area so we know that we're going over the lake where they want us to. Okay, so we should be pretty much not descending anymore. Thank you very much. Mixer's forward now. Throttle's forward so we stop descending, and we'll be careful not to overspeed. Okay, so we should be looking for this motorway now. Obviously that's the town, right? Pretty obvious if you ask me. Let's not ascend though. There we go. Let's trim this out. Let's look outside. Okay, so this should put us both over the stadium and the Abbey. However, oh, I think I might see something because see how that sticks out like a sore thumb? Remember we've talked about that before. The handmade objects stick out and they look nasty usually. That's how I can usually find them. And the stadium might be just below the wing. So we could get lower, but then that might be too low for other stuff. So let's not get lower. Let's just stay where we are, and I'm getting up there. Okay, there's a library for sure. That is definitely the library for sure. You got it sticks out like a sore thumb. Let's go over towards it, and then we'll look to the left and see if we can get to the find the stadiums. Let's bring back throttles a little bit, so we do come down a tiny bit. I guess won't hurt anything. If this were a bush trip without all the mountainous terrain, we would go around 2,500 feet or so, which is nice and low. And then you can see everything. So we're going to get over the library, then we'll look for the stadium. I see something there, but that doesn't look like it would be worth pointing out. Okay, so we should be over the library about now. Okay, do you see a stadium on this side? I don't. Let's look out. Okay, let's actually active pause. We haven't done this yet in this trip, but let's active pause. Take out the drone. And now, okay, so there's the library complex, obviously, right there in the middle of your screen with the thing around it. Now, where's the stadium? Let me see. First, I gotta keep an eye on my gauges. Keep moving. See, the engine keeps moving, so I gotta keep an eye on that while I find the stadium here. Okay, the stadium is way over there. I think it's that. So let's actually fly over there. I'm not going to, take the drone over there because we can just fly over there. So let's do that super quickly and see if we can just look at it. Just because we missed some other things like the viaduct and stuff, I at least want to make an effort trying to find these things. And then we'll set the heading bug to 58, did it say? And then we'll cross over that way. So let's see. Can I set the heading bug while I'm looking out my window? I can try. I cannot see that. There's 30 something. We have to zoom in. I can't see. 45. That was close. And then 58. There we go. Okay, so let's see here. The mouse out of the way. Come out here. There's the stadium. Right under the right wing. We'll fly right over that, and then we'll turn around. But in the meantime, let's look at these mountains in the distance. Oh wow, look at that. The city has a big mountain ridge and then a huge valley behind it. That's really cool. Right over the stadium now. Okay, let's take the drone out carefully. Are we trimmed well enough that we can use the drone? Come on, drone. Where's the stadium? There. Where'd it go? There it is. It's under the oh, come on, go away. It was under the tail. See it? Have to take out this camera because I can't see. There we go. There it is. Can we see it from the airplane? Probably not. But anyway, there's your stadium. Let's active pause. Take out the drone, and then you can see your stadium. Whoop, wrong controls. I could speed up and fly down in there, but there you go. There's your stadium from the air. Let's put that away. Let's come out here. Let's get the right view. Unactive pause. Let's turn around towards Lake Constance. And then after Lake Constance, what are we going to do? Let's see. Let's read about it, I guess. Continue your course. Lake Constance, a body of water where Switzerland, Germany, and Austria meet. The lake lies along the Rhine at the northern reaches of the Alps. So the Alps come out to this point, right? Alrighty, so let's make our turn with haste, actually, because we want to be 58 degrees off of the Abbey. We don't want to be 58 degrees off of anything else, right? So there we go. So I think if we look outside, ooh, there we go. That's an awesome shot. Yeah, the Abbey's right there to the right. So we're pretty much where they want us to be. Okay, let's say this altitude. Lake Constance. What is after Lake Constance? Can it go like this? There you go. Then we'll turn 57 degrees, which isn't much different than we are now. So Lake Constance, and keep your eye on the northeasterly course and pass over Lindau, a town and island on the eastern reaches of Lake Constance in Bavaria, Germany. We've been there before too. We have been there before too in another bush trip. So we're going to cross over the lake. Then we're going to fly to Lindau, which is a city with that little thing sticking out right there. So that's where we're headed. Looks like our course is pretty much where it should be if I were to stay on course. So we're going to head to Lindau, which is right there, which is pretty obvious, right, with our course and everything. And then we'll turn 34 degrees, which is kind of to the north, and land at Yankee Whiskey, which should be right here. And that's that grass strip, see? So we're basically aiming for this. Hopefully we can see it without much trouble. If we have to circle around a bunch of times, we will. We'll zoom in the map as we get closer. So there you go. There are the last final POIs of your bush trip. So quite a bit of sightseeing now, I think, until we get towards the airport. I'll see you in a little bit. Alright, we're over the lake, bringing back throttle so we can start coming out a little bit. I want to get down to about 2,500 feet or maybe 3,000 or so. And then we'll keep zooming in as we get closer and closer here to get an idea for where this airport actually is. What you didn't see while I was flying was I was giving a lot more throttle to get our speed back up while minding the overspeed. So spent some time trimming out for that. We did climb a little bit during sightseeing. That's why we're coming down now too. Otherwise, not much else to say other than looking at the incredible scenery, because the plains are just as gorgeous as the mountains can be, right? A little easier to fly and navigate. But enjoying the Minecraft clouds. I have everything all trimmed out so I don't even have to touch anything. Just using throttle to manage our descent. And we're about to get over our town, and then we'll find this airport, although it's not perfectly smooth over there. We'll do the best we can to find it. We'll probably have to circle around, which you would do anyway, right on a turf airport. In real life, you'd fly over it to check it out before you land on it. So we might end up doing that just out of necessity, not able to find it, or we might just fly in and land. I don't know. Otherwise, things are going pretty well. We're about to end this leg, which for these long legs, I kind of don't mind when we end them, although it's been gorgeous. Although the previous leg was definitely my favorite leg of all bush trips so far. Otherwise, 40 more seconds of sightseeing or so as you stare into that sun, and I'll see you when we get ready to land this thing. Alright, it's time to start looking for our airport. We're going to still keep descending here. I mean, we are almost there. Look at that. See that? So let's come down, props forward. Pitch back though, or pitch up to keep our altitude. Or slow down, sorry. The throttle's back, well, slow, whatever. You pitch for speed, throttles for ascent, descent, but I wanted to slow down, so I brought throttles back and kept my pitch the same. How about that? There we go. Pitch up for speed to slow down, throttles back so you don't ascend. That sound better? I think I found our airport actually. Maybe not. I was thinking it was, yeah, there it is right there. Sweet. I can't believe I found it. So we're not going to make it, I don't think, from this speed and this angle. So let's see. It's actually pointing at the GPS thing, isn't it? Is that coincidence that the GPS is pointing at the airport runway orientation? I don't know, but we're going to come all around like this. And then we're going to enjoy the sights while we're at it. Holy cow, this is some of the most gorgeous scenery I've seen in the entire simulator. What in the world? Look at this. I get it, what in the world? Anywho, I really want to visit Europe, especially places like this. I don't want to do the touristy stuff. I want to do stuff like this, where you go to small villages, small towns. Oh, this is what I want to visit. Especially like rural Scotland and stuff. Wow. Anyway, we gotta land this plane. We have to concentrate. So, wow, I'm pitched way back. Oh yeah, let me trim back for our slower speeds here. Oh, this is incredible. I want to look outside, but we might not do very well in terms of our approach. So that's enough looking outside. Okay. Whoa, see, screwed up. Okay. Oh, now I'm too low to see the dang airport. I knew that would happen. That's the problem. Too low to see the airport. But we got to be low enough to land. Oh, I totally biffed it. There it is over there. Oh, man. We were doing so well, too. Let's get those flaps out. I think that's the airport. I'm pretty sure that's the airport. 2 sets of flaps. I'm giving us like no final here. Isn't that the airport? I'm pretty sure that's it. Yeah, that's it. Alrighty. I'm going to come down right over to this stuff. We're going to go full flap on this one. I think there's 3 sets of flaps. Maybe even 4. I don't know. Alright, here we go. Don't hit any cars. Nice and low and slow. Get to just about stall speed. Oh, and it's saved. Okay. That's fine. Let ground effects keep us from smashing down. We're landing longer than I wanted to, but that should be okay. And oh, nice bounce. Nope, no bounce. Nice. Okay, as long as we stay on the runway, didn't go past it, we should be good. Hey, that's exactly how long the previous leg took. It's supposed to be 54 minutes. We went 18 plus 6 is something. 24 minutes longer, I guess. Okay, we can sigh, relief, big, let out the breath. I held my breath for that whole landing. We landed longer than I wanted to, but it didn't matter. We're still on the runway, so we're good. You know the drill. Like, subscribe, so you can see leg 5 coming up next. See you then.